Khan, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Kalaka Yashin. Before I get started, of course, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah Yahweh, but the true name of the Heavenly Father, the true name of the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is Yahweh. It means He exists. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ, His name is Yahweh Shai, means He to deliver, He the Savior. The Most High God, Yahweh, sent His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, to deliver the world, which that world consists of the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American man, woman, and child, the Hebrew Israelites, the children of Israel that the Bible speaks of. Shalom to the Akim, the brothers. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters, scattered abroad, enduring temptation, and waiting for the righteous kingdom to be established upon this earth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the elders that paved the way for us, and we have entered into their labor. Shalom to the house of David. Shalom, shalom, shalom. So the mark of the beast, right now, hey, through the spirit, hey, this what's going on. The mark of the beast is the system is being set up. It's an age-old question, right? Since I've been in this truth, everybody wants to know what the mark is. You got some camps say this, some brothers say this, some brothers say this. But hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, I believe it is what the world will call the RFID chip, which is true. Now, if the spirit reveals it to you, the spirit does. If not, you're gonna have a hard time in the times we're coming into. But right. So we're just gonna get straight into it against Shalom. So the mark of the beast. And I got some stuff written down, but of course the spirit is gonna move how the spirit is gonna move. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna I'll start there. Like again, if the family, any family that watches, family, I refer to those that believe in Yahweh, Yahweh shall keep the commandments. If y'all watch, y'all understand and know that if a precept comes to mind and you go to it and you bring it out, you can't quench the spirit. John chapter 3 and verse number 8, the wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born in the spirit. So, of course, I got some things written down, so a little bit of history written down, which is more to go into, but I'm going to get straight to the point. So, Revelation chapter 13 and verse number 1. So, this is our forefather John, the Revelator. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So John is seeing the Roman kingdom come into power. That's what he's seeing. And Lord willing, I think I said it before, but when you read Daniel 7, Daniel had a vision of 7 kingdoms. Right? He had the Babylonians, the Persian Media Empire, and the Greeks and the Romans being the 4th beast. So John is seeing this 4th beast coming out of the sea, meaning, understanding to seas are people. But I want to go into, I think I got to pull it up, Psalm chapter 49 and verse number 20. Man that is in honor and understand, if not, is like the beast that perisheth. So we understand that men are referred to as beasts. So John is seeing a nation come up into power. And I want to go into that word beast real quick. So it's the Greek word therion, and it means, of course, an animal, a wild beast, and it's a metaphor, a brutal, bestial man, savage, furious. Now, when you go into the Roman Empire was not to be played with. The Roman Empire was terrible, right? It had enemies shook for its violent army, right? There was nobody to be played with. And as we continue to go down into the chapter, you start to come to find out that another beast rises, and it's the Americans. And for the most part, that's the only reason, America, aka Babylon, is thriving, because they dumped all their money into their military. So we understand that this is the Roman Empire rising up out of the amalgamation of different Edomite nations, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his head 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. That's right, because they were wicked kingdoms. So the 7 heads in the ancient time were Salakia. It was Greece, Rome, Spain, Hispania, France, Gaul, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Great Britain. Now these all have ancient names. So when you go into the Roman provinces of old, you get when you look up 7. Now Rome, they had more provinces, but these were like the 7 main ones. All right, so you got Hispania here, which would be Spain today. You got Gaul, which would be French today. You got Britannia, that would be British, Germania Major, and Germania Inferior, Germania Minor, and then you have Italy, which would be France. So these would be the 7, and then you also have a Greece down here too, Rome being one of the heads as well. But then you have Greece over here, Macedonia, Achaia, things of that nature, because the Greeks were a capitulant and bowed down to the Roman rule. So those would be the 7 heads: Greece, Rome, Spain, which would be Hispania, France which will be Gaul, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and then you will have Britannia or Britain. These are the seven heads. Now there was other provinces, but these were the seven main prominent ones. And then you had, I'm gonna go back to Revelation 13. And this is the elders been pushing this for a long time. It's just good to go over again as we get close to the end and we're living in the times of the end. And of course, you got new brothers and new sisters coming to this thing every single day. So it's good to revisit you know, uh, the mysteries of the scriptures. And 10 horns upon his 10 crowns and upon his head names of blasphemy, because the 10 horns will be, which will be today, will be the EU, but in the ancient time, it would be the 10 vassal states of Rome. And then when you go to right here, there's this website, which they get this from the apostles. They get this from our elders. A sure word sweeter than honey. The 10 kingdoms of Rome. So it'll be the Alamanis, the Franks, the Burgundians, the Vandals, the Sueves, the Visigoths, the Saxons, the Ostrogoths, the Lombards, and Hereles. Now all these eventually turn into the EU. So the Saxons will be the Spaniards. What do I have it here? I want to go into EU countries. So this is the EU today. These nations, these 10 vassal states of Rome came back today as the EU. So it's nothing new under the sun. As we get into the breakdown, it's gonna get better. Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, so forth and so on. Started off with 10, but now it's more. And then what's so beautiful is these are all Edomite kingdoms. It's all one beast. It's all Edomites. All Edomites are in these the European Union. So there's no way around the prophecy. You cannot fight prophecy. You can't stop prophecy. So again, these nations. So you got the seven vassals. You got the seven heads. We went over the seven heads and we went over the 10 horns. Today it will be the seven heads will be Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Gaul, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Britain. Today, all these nations are one. They make up the Roman Empire. So we're living in the revised Roman Empire. Okay, Lord willing, that makes sense. Lord willing, that makes sense because that's the whole point of the lesson is to edify and to bring the scriptures to life. So verse number 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. And then when you go into again to a leopard is known for the Greek Empire, right? The Alexander the Great conquered the known world at a very young age, and he was known for wearing a leopard hat. Swift, powerful, quick, and a leopard is strong, powerful. All right. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. The bear will be the last Edomite kingdom, which the top kingdom really right now is Russia. And Russia is going to be the one for ultimately bringing Babylon down. And when you read the prophecy of Gog and Magog, it speaks to that. It speaks to that. That these little nations like Iran and Turkey and these different so-called the kings of the East, rather, was summoned up to the kings of the East. Russia is going to be a guard unto them. All right. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, because the lion goes into the British, because America sprang from the British Empire. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, I feel bad. I have to go into the leopard. I just feel like we need to see a visual. We need to see a visual. We're a visual people. So I'm going to go into, I'm just going to type in Greek leopard, see what come up. I don't want to make this too long, but if it's on my spirit, like I said, fam, we got to go into it. Oh, that's bad. I should have just typed in Alexander the Greek. That's what I should have typed in. Let me see. Alexander the Greek leopard. Can't spell. See? So here we go. Alexander the Greek. Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna read it again with the image up. So it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, because it's America is a form of, remember, America is a melting pot of all these different kingdoms. So the Greeks, all right. And his feet were as the feet of the bear. So let's go into the bear. Everyone knows this. And Russia is going to be the one ultimately to bring this kingdom down. The bear. See, the Russian bear. So the scriptures are alive. All right. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So let's go into the lion. um British Lion. And America comes from Britain, the British Lion. All right. I'm just gonna type in did America come from Britain? It says no, America did not come from Britain, but the United States originated from the 13 colonies that declared independence from Great Britain in 1776. It came from Britain. British colonization, because remember when you go into it, the Revolutionary War and the independence was them. Let me just read it. The Declaration of Independence. The colonists grew unhappy with British rule, leading to the American Revolution. The Second Continental Congress issued a Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, officially severing political ties and creating the United States of America. So it came out of Britain. It conquered Britain, right? Okay, so I'm gonna continue on. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authorities. Who's the dragon? Satan. Satan gives power and rule and kingdom. What did he try to do to Yahushua? Matthew chapter 4 and verse number 4. Hold on. In 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of him, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Shaitan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So the Lord rebuked him. So Satan gives America, Rome, and all these Edomite heathen kingdoms power. So I'm gonna go into that word dragon in the Greek. Draken, a dragon, a great serpent, and a name for Satan. So Satan gives Rome and America their power. And as we get down to the mark of the beast, I wanted to go. I didn't want to just touch on the mark of the beast. I wanted to go over the whole chapter. So just bear with me, man, because this is beautiful. This is very important to go into. But when you go down into when we get to verse 16, it's showing you that Satan is powering, was giving image to the beast, and also the technology. They're getting all this technology, the left hand wisdom for the spiritual demon Satan. All right. So verse number 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, and who was able to make war with them. That's right, because when you go into the Roman Empire, Rome was feared. Rome was feared. Let me see, was Rome feared? Was Rome feared? It says, yes, ancient Rome was feared by many, largely due to its formidable military. Its military was feared for discipline, innovation, and martial spirit, which was built on brute force and refusal to surrender. So they were like, hey, who could fight Rome? The nations, they remember they had this plate that Rome had the world on the known world at lockdown. Verse number 4. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months because they were evil and they were wicked. They were sodomites. They were prideful. So hey, yeah, who can overcome Rome? They was prideful. And the 42 months goes into a times and a half a time. A time being 360 days. Times would be 360 times 2, which would be 720. And a half a time, which would be 180, which is a symbolic number for affliction, for the heathen ruling, or just oppression of the Lord's people. 1,260 days. Also known as another term will be 3.5 years. All right, so Lord willing, I think I said it before, but again, the spirit goes how it goes. But Lord willing, we do a lesson on the spirituality and the symbolically how the Lord gets down with numbers. So a lesson for another day. Verse number 6. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the most high, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And that's talking about us. Because the Lord said his tabernacle will be with us. His spirit dwells with his people. We are the tabernacle. And these demons, these heathen know the name of the Lord is not Yahweh, it's not Jehovah, it's not Jesus. So they blaspheme his name and they give us all these names. And we dwell in heaven, not so the sense that, well, yeah, the Lord dwells in heaven. The angels dwell in heaven. And what do they paint the angels as? Babies with diapers, European images with pale skin. So yeah, they do, and them that dwell in heaven, and also us because we're citizens of heaven. Right? We speak heavenly things. We speak the Hebrew. We speak of the kingdom to come. So they blaspheme the Lord's people and everything that pertains to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse number 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And again, Rome did. They overcame us. They came in 70 AD and they sacked the temple, and the temple was made desolate. And then we went in captivity across the four corners of the earth. And now we're here going over this lesson, going out and reminding our people. All right. Verse number 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. And everybody worshiped Rome then, and now they're here worshiping Rome again. In Christianity, just want to be an entertainer, wanted to be a part and enjoying places to find a spot in this world. But it gets beautiful. What did the Lord want to let us know? Verse number 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Because here it is. Rome was the last kingdom before it was divided up to the 10 toes and the clay, which we in right now. But the Lord is saying, as these people had great sole rule over the earth, and they enslaved nations and they enslaved you, they're going into captivity. They trusted in their sword. They loved their sword. They're going to be killed with the sword when Yahushua come back. So the Lord snuck that in there to let us know. Like, don't get it twisted. Yeah, they're doing all this thing. They blaspheme my name. They blaspheme me. They blaspheme my tabernacle. They blaspheme the angels and everything. They overcome all the nations. They overcame y'all. But they're going into captivity and they will be destroyed. Now, verse 11 shifts gears and goes into the Babylonian or the Americans. And I beheld another beast come out of the earth, right? Because after the Western Roman Empire fell, you had something called the Dark Ages, where so-called Jakes ruled Europe for over 1,000 years, roughly 1,000 years. And then America comes from the rebirth of the Renaissance. The rebirth of what? The rebirth of the Edomites, the Roman Empire. All right. And then also, too, I had this pulled up. Do I still have it pulled up? Oh, I jumped the gun. But hold on. Hold on now. Did I show this? We went over this. So I could just use this slide. The third Rome. Let's see what the third Rome is. The third Rome is an ideological concept asserting that Moscow, and by extension Russia, is a successor of the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, becoming a new center of Orthodox Christianity. So you see, these Edomites came back as Rome. And let me just type this in: the Treaty of Rome. The Treaty of Rome, signed on March 25th, 1957, established the European Economic Community and the European Atomic Energy Community, Euratom. Who was in it? Germany, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, based on the free movement of goods, people with services. So you see, key aspect of the Treaty of Rome. These Edomite kingdoms came back as Rome. All right? So Lord willing, that makes sense. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth and had two horns like a lamb. He spake as a dragon, but this beast is America. The two horns like a lamb are the House and the Senate. I'm just going to type in House and Senate eye to eye. Agree. I'm just going to see what it comes up with. Agree. So it says, I worded that wrong. House and Senate, what if they don't agree? What if they don't agree? Disagree. So it says, if the House and Senate pass different versions of a bill, the chambers must reconcile the differences before the bill can become the law. This is most often accomplished through a conference committee. So and then everything that they promote during the House and the Senate, it promotes, democracy and, the people have the freedom to vote, and the people this, the Constitution, which is being done away with in Donald Trump, as you can see. I just watched the video earlier. It's saying he's taking away free speech. He's taking away guns. So he speaks as a lamb, but he comes off as a dragon. Donald Trump, which we believe through the Spirit, is this cruel Lord that Isaiah speaks about. Verse number 12. And he exerciseth all power of the first beast before him, Rome, and causeth the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. That's right, because America came back as Rome. Rome was healed, wounded, fell, but it came back as America and these other Edomite kingdoms. All right. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven and the earth to the sight of men. And this is beautiful, which I love. Who is the first nation to use nukes? Let's see. The United States, Rome, Babylon. The United States was the first to use nuclear weapons in war, dropping atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. So you see, it's the devil. And this is how they're going to be destroyed. This was not long ago. 1945 was not long ago. Not long ago at all. All right, so verse number 13, and he doeth great wonders so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And then look how the scriptures come to life. See that? And then the world, Babylon or Rome, had the world shook, but now everybody has these now. Everybody has these now. Who's this? These other nations. Everybody has these. Who's this? China. All these will be shot at Babylon the Great. All right. We get down to the point. Verse number 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. That's right. Everything that represents that Rome is America. The Colosseums, the bread and circus, the gymnasiums, everything. That's the image. Not just religion, Christianity. So it's not just the image of Caesar Borgia. It's everything that Rome was, is America. So the image, figure, likeness of Rome are used as a moral likeness. Man, boy, love. That's everything that Babylon promotes. Freakism and murder and just everything. That's the image. It's not just the image of Caesar Borgia, but that's a part of it. All right. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That's right. Because if you don't get down in America one way, shape, or form, you don't prosper here. As we get to the mark, right? Verse number 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So we're going to go into that word mark. It's the Greek word charagma, and it means a stamp and printed, a stamp and a printed mark of the mark stamped on the forehead on the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatry images. So it's showing you that this mark is physical, right? So the mark branded upon horses. So through the spirit, I simply just went on Google and typed in brand fraternity, and look who comes up. And he's showing you that our people is into this Greek way of system, this Greek system. Now, is this the mark? No, but it's showing you who the mark is intended for. It's really for the whole world, but it's really going to be for you Israelites. Something really branded upon you, put on you, put in you. And we're going to dive into a little more. And I just typed in brand fraternity. I didn't type in so-called black man. I didn't type in black men, none of that. Our people is into this, also proving that our people are the Greeks. All right? You see this? You cannot make this up. All our people. All right? This a brand upon horses showing you that you're their slave. And as we see this technocracy, so let me type in, let me go here. I'm gonna type in Peter Thiel and technocracy. So once you get this thing put in you, you will be like in this Greek you will be like a brotherhood. You will be owned by this man. So it says Peter Thiel is widely regarded as a critic of democracy and has shown strong interest in technocratic ideas, although this does not explicitly identify with the label technocrat. So what's a technocrat? They want to merge man with machine. What is technocracy? The government of control society or industry by an elite of technical experts. And that's what these people are. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these different people who met at White House. Tech. So it says a high-profile technology dinner at the White House on September 4th, 2025. President Donald Trump hosted many of Silicon Valley's most prominent figures to discuss advancements and investments in AI. So you got Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Sergey Brin, Safra Katz, Alexander Wang, Lisa Su, Dylan Field, Kamath Palafatia. Why? Because they're coming up with this. This is what they're talking about, how they're going to do this and take control of the world. You see? This is the mark of the beast. And they're going to squeeze it on you. Hold on one second. Sweden, 10,000 RFID users. Let's see if it come up. I seen something recent. This is from 2024. It says cash now extinct as citizens in Sweden. Cash now extinct as citizens use implanted microchips instead. So I mean, you could see, and then these are the Edomites. They're just trying it out in Sweden. So it's playing upon tables for those that have ears to hear. Right. So a stamp and printed mark of the mark stamped on the forehead of the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses. All right. So I'm gonna continue on. We'll go back. Revelation 13 and 16. Revelation 13 and verse number 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma or mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. And then you see too, go to this, Neuralink implant. Where are they putting these chips at? In people's brain. You can't really make this up. And then you see, and this guy was in the White House. So you see people actually getting a chip in their hand. You see Neuralink, they're putting chips in people's brain, and you got all these tech people meeting, and the whole part of a tech people, the technocracy, is to get people to control, to get data, whether you could buy or sell or not. So this is plain. This thing is really happening. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast. That's right, because again, too, the name of the beast. Because once you get that thing in you, you are now their slave. Now you're not owned to America. You're now Roman. It's now your God. Once you get this chip in you, remember, a mark branded upon horses. But let me go back to that real quick. I want to go back to the word charagma real quick. So it's the same as carax. And what's carax? A pale or stake, palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. So I want to go into what is it? A stake. Where is it? A stake, a needle. So you got this thing being branded upon you but remember, John is doing the best he can. This is a needle. He's seen a stake. He's seen these Edomites putting chips in people. All right. So you see, pale or stake, and that's the root word, charagma, carax. So a brand or a needle going in. And mind you, there's a lot of confusion out there on what this thing is, but now brothers would say it's sin, brothers would say it's embargo, brothers would say it's religion. But when you read the next chapter, you can't repent from taking this mark. So it's very important that we don't, whether we can't love our lives unto death, because they're going to try to starve people out and to get this thing. But we got to know that Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, is in power of all things. But this is what's coming. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And we all know the number of the Lord, Salakia, this number that this devil plays with. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And there's only one nation that plays with this number. It's the Edomites, primarily the American Edomite. So 636, and it's chai size stigma. So it says, we got to go into the Greek word for chai stigma. Well, the word stigma is used somewhere else. And it's Galatians 6 and 16. And that'll pretty much wrap it up. Now, Lord willing, it's edifying. That's other videos I didn't play. But get into this thing, right? Use this to build upon, to fight, to seek the truth out. So Galatians 6 and 16, 17. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Adonai Yahweh Shai. So we're going to go into that word stigma. Stigma. A mark pricked or branded upon the body to ancient Oriental usage. Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way to a token of their gods. So if you receive this mark, whether it be in your forehead, whether it even be in your left hand, whether it be in your vessel at all, you now no longer belong to Yahweh Shem Shah. You belong to Rome, and you will be destroyed with Rome. Let me see, did ancient Romans brand slaves? America branded slaves. Yes, ancient Roman had a widespread system of slavery that was a fundamental part of its economy and society. Slaves were acquired through war, piracy, trade, and birth, and they performed of a vast array of jobs from manual labor in mines and fields, skill positions. I'm gonna get to a point. Well, yes, they did. Not to read this whole thing, because I will. Yes, they branded their slaves. America branded slaves. The new brand is the RFID chip. Don't take it or you will be destroyed. Laurel, and it's that much plain as that. Through precepts, through pictures, and it's more. But use this to build upon. It says during the period of American slavery, branding was a brutal and dehumanizing practice used to mark enslaved people as property. So the new mark is coming back in a big way. Don't take it, because if you do, proving that it's not sin, it's not, you cannot repent from this. So Revelation chapter 14 and verse number, hold on. I'm looking right at it. I know I am. Verse 11. I'll start at verse 10. Doom for worshippers of the beast. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and then receive his mark in his forehead or his right hand. Remember, they all go one in hand. The chip, the beast. Right? If you take this chip, you worship the beast. Now you're your own. You have his name. You have that one thing I want to get a video too. You have the number of his name. You're owned by this man, this devil, this Edomite, and he receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall receive of the wine of the wrath. And I didn't go into this word receive. Lambano, to give. If I remember right, to take with their hand, lay hold of any person or thing in order to use it. So you're gonna need this to buy or sell. I mean, it's plain, man. It's plain. All right, so let me just finish off with this, and I'll finish off with a video if I can find it. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is, Salakia. Verse number 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. Doesn't say nothing about you cannot repent from this. That's why it's so important. Right? We push this, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You can't repent from taking this chip. So again, don't take the chip, which is the RFID chip. The M.O.T.B, if you will. So I'm gonna type in Donald Trump. It may not come up. It may not come up. Well, hey, look, Jared, his son-in-law, 666 Fifth Avenue. The building. It's a video. Let me just see if video come up. It's not gonna come up. Well, even these not modern day people are putting two and two together. But this devil gets down with this image, this number. See? Can't make this up, man. We know that means 6. Now this could just be that's a reach, but here we go. All right. So with that, I give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Malak Yahweh Shai. Right, Shalom family. Until next time, Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.